Now, so we have some of the players already. A thing to note, guys, is that players, again, will be receiving a six-figure salary for participating in this league. Now, guys, this is a big draw to get top players like a Ryan Howard and a NECA, or not NECA, and a Jewel Lloyd and whatnot. A huge incentive in players deciding to join this league is the fact that we will see them get paid six-figure salaries. Now, the specific number of six figures has not been decided yet, so not quite sure if that is 100,000 right on the mark, if that's 200,000, 300,000, like what exactly that figure is, we do not know. However, we do know that players are going to be receiving a six-figure salary for participating. So that's 8 weeks of play, 3v3, at least $100,000. That's not bad. That's not bad for being able to stay in the United States. Now, the goal is to pay a base salary and to as the league grows, increase the pay, so that way players have even more buy-in. Because when you're getting paid well, you're gonna play better, right? Also, a thing to note is that inaugural players, so that means the first 30 players for this upcoming season for Unrivaled, the first 30, the 30 inaugural players will get equity in the league. So that is something to note. So you're gonna have ownership. So the players that I previously mentioned, they have ownership in Unrivaled. And again, that's kind of cool. And this is sort of like a first of its kind of sorts, because we've seen women's basketball leagues, come around and fail, right? We before the WNBA, we've seen several leagues. After the WNBA has launched, we've seen other sort of smaller leagues that are some are still operating, but they're very, very small and no one knows about them, right? A way to get relevancy in just in the public sphere is to give players an incentive to, one, promote this thing, and not just, I'm just coming for the check, that's all I'm here for. I'm here so I don't get fined, that type of thing. No, it's to make everybody who is a part of Unrivaled invested. Like, literally, you will have an equity stake playing in this league. So, not just Napheesa, Collier, and Breanna Stewart, who are the co-founders of this. They're not the only ones who have equity. Arike Agabawale now has equity, and Chelsea Gray has equity. Jewel Lloyd has equity. Angel Reese has equity. Jackie Young has equity. Kelly Copper, Ryan Howard, Kelsey Plum. And as we go on and find out more players, those inaugural 30 players will have equity in this league, which is, in my opinion, pretty awesome. And it's genius. It really is genius. Because again, if you're invested in something, you want those numbers to grow. You want fan engagement to grow. You want viewership to grow. And so you're going to do things to ensure that this works out, because it's in everyone's best interest for this thing not to flop, okay? Not just Napheesa Collier and Breanna Stewart. It's everybody's best interest for this to work out. So, everybody's going to be giving their best at all times, because again, they got they're going to have a financial stake in this. Not only are they getting paid a salary, but also they're getting equity, which is, again, huge. Absolutely huge. Row 2 says having ownership as well is excellent. This is well thought out. Hoping success for the league. Yeah, this is very well thought out. Like, very, very well. And again, guys, this is Napheesa Collier. This is Breanna Stewart. This is Napheesa Collier's husband as well, Alex, who's the president of this league. They've really thought this thing through. Let's see. Danny says this is a great investment. Shoot, how do I get in on the cut? Danny, you got to be one of the top 30 players. One of the top 30 players. Let's see what else you all have to say. Rachel says essentially worker-owned business to some extent. Yes, that's sort of the vibe of this thing. Yeah, partially worker owned. Now the percentage that the players get in equity, I'm not sure about that. That has not been released, but there is some sort of percentage of equity in Unrivaled for all of the players who participate in that first season. Rosalinda says, can you imagine the merchandise? I'm sure it's going to be awesome. I'm sure the merchandise is going to be awesome. And again, all the players are going to be modeling for it because, again, the league makes more money. They make more money. Not just from salary, but also from the investment. Frost says, wonder how this will be broadcasted. TBD. Hopefully more information very soon on that front. Robin says the European leagues will suffer or backfill, or will backfill be enough, or European salaries have to bump up. Robin, European salaries, some of the European salaries. So like in Turkey, when you're playing for like a top team like a Fenerbahce or even a Galatasaray or those types of teams, you do get paid a good amount of money. But for players, Unrivaled might actually be a slight cut possibly to them. But the benefit you have is that you're staying at home and you're playing for a league that you may believe in a little bit more, and also a league that you'll have equity in. So it's, yes, it's about the money, but I don't think it's just about the money. Like I really don't. I think it's that and more that Unrivaled offers that, you know, a random team in Turkey or Spain or, you know, or the UK, it just doesn't. Brandon, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, looking at viewership numbers in the WNBA, I think this is going to be tough for them to gain traction. If Caitlin is involved, it might have a shot. I hear your point, Brandon, because absolutely, yes. Caitlin Clark has done wonders for the WNBA. I don't know if Caitlin does this thing. I don't know if she opts to join this league. One is, you know, it's possible that she's like, you know what, I need a rest. I need to take it easy. I'm not used to 3v3, so I'm just gonna rest. I'm going to relax during my off season. So I'm not sure if she does it. I'm sure they offered it to her. I'm sure, but it depends if she wants to do it. But I think absolutely yes. If Caitlin was involved, sure, that would absolutely bring a even bigger boost. But I also do think that the way that they are marketing this thing, the way they're rolling this thing out, it's continuing to build buzz and some of the players that you already have in this thing, I think it's going to do well. Like I really do. Like it's not going to compete with like WNBA numbers right now, but I think it's going to lead to a pretty decent attendance, pretty decent viewership for the first year, and I think it's just going to build from there. Like I actually think this is going to be a successful thing because this is player owned and player driven. Like I think that's the big key. That is the big key, and the fact that you have, again, go rewind this thing. Look at the investors that I talked about. You have huge investors in this thing, and they are backing it, and I think that is absolutely huge. And it's going to lead to the future success of this thing. James says framework set up for success. Absolutely, yeah. I think this is going to be a successful thing. I think it's going to be successful. Mark says, not to be negative, but give it 3 years, you got NFL to compete with. That is true. The NFL is something to compete with. Absolutely. Yeah, I think Mark, yes, absolutely. And I think that they probably, when it comes to like the broadcast times and whatnot, I think they're gonna keep that in mind.